Call the meeting to order at 2:02. Here. Did get to see the minutes from November 5th or November 3rd?
Yep.
Want me to read them or is everyone good with?
Yeah, they were fine.
Is there a motion to accept them?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from November 3rd.
Second.
Tracy Martin, seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll say aye. Okay, and few people have mentioned, we really need to establish a criteria of what is really an acceptable project for these funds. Ben did reach out with me with an email, I think it was today,
Yeah, it was this morning.
and with some good thoughts on that.
Is this yours?
That's mine.
Okay,
That's me.
thanks.
That's just made up out of my own
Your own head.
head. And it's not meant to be just comprehensive or definitive, or I
Yeah.
have no expertise, but I was just putting it out there to get the ball rolling, sort of thing.
And, does it come down to, is it a one-time event? Because this is gonna be a one-time surge of money into our town. I believe it's only gonna be one time.
Let's hope.
Yeah, seriously. So it's not like the funds will be lasting and supporting anything after. It's gonna be one and done. So we gotta think about that too. Any thoughts on any of this?
Well, I went through your list and I looked at it and it's kind of like a wish list that everybody put a little
Yeah.
ideas in. And I think the biggest thing is where we could spend the money that would benefit the town, but also save the taxpayers money on upcoming budgets. Like the first item you have is the mini excavator. Now that would probably save the town crew from renting equipment in the future.
Right.
Which would help on the budget aspect of it,
Yeah, substantially.
right? Because we rent that equipment almost every
Yeah, I
year.
had one the last 2 days, doing a septic
So
one,
that is something that it's gonna help the town in the long run,
right?
which is great. When we start looking at helping the needy programs in town, our food bank, our friends and neighbors that does something for the kids program. That's been going on for years. That would help. The library lost income from the pandemic, and books and stuff that you could buy from this program would also help on the budget aspect of it in the future. So those are the things I think are important. I mean, it's nice to say we'd like to have a lighted sign in the town green. Those are wish list items. So we should really look at what is going to benefit the town in the future.
Well, actually, the sign in the green is kind of mentioned in the Treasury guidelines about getting public information out to the public. The best, any means possible. That's why they supported like the messaging systems and things like that. You want to be able to get the message, say it's an emergency. Boom, it's right there on the sign in the green. Everyone can see it's passing through town.
Yep.
Because I always get the excuses from people. Well, I don't listen to the radio. I don't read the paper. I don't drive through town.
Yep.
And I'm not signed up for your messaging. So I think we really got to be able to hit people the best we can with these systems. And if Kristen was here, she would agree with me about the current sign that we have.
Well, if that's an important thing that's going to help, then that's what we should focus.
It's just, that
Right.
I saw it within the guidelines and thought that would be a good one, you know, for the public.
And I'm not, I don't want to pick, but whatever really important that's going to help our townspeople, that's what we should really focus on.
You could also make that a revenue stream, believe it or not. You could run out happy birthdays, happy.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, it sounds silly.
They do
No,
that.
I'm just laughing because I was thinking of, when you go to sporting events.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not saying we would, but you could.
Yeah, and again, does it come down to supplementing current line items or does it come down to a one-time expense? I think if you start supplementing current line items, the money runs out. And guess what happens? People are going to screaming that we need this money. It's not fair, right? I see this happen all the time in school systems. They get a federal grant, they add 2 positions. Federal grant's gone in 3 years. Guess what? We need those positions.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of think of the future of it. You know, when that budget rolls out, that doesn't include this money.
So is the fire truck, is that something that you're talking about that is supplemental to what we owe on the truck or?
I think the current estimate for replacing that engine is probably gonna be 700 to 800,000. What do you think?
They're getting more expensive too.
Yeah. I think right now we have 250 put away.
Oh, I see. So it's not like something we have that we're paying down, we need to buy it. Is what you're
Right.
saying.
That truck is how many years old?
Oh, man. Do you remember?
I think it's what is it, a 91?
Is that the one we just spent 150,000?
No.
Refurbish?
That was the tanker, I
Oh,
think.
that was the
That's
tank,
engine 3. This is engine 5.
engine 5.
But how long is the capital on that and when do we have to spend it by? Because one of the things that popped in
This?
my mind is we're gonna have to increase the capital on it if we have a time limit, if we do the fire truck in here. So
Increase the capital on what?
how long?
for the engine?
I think this money lasts 4 years.
So I don't remember
Am I
what the
right?
capital timeline on it was, but if it's past then, we're gonna have to supplement with,
Oh, yeah.
so that, to me, is kind of hard to swallow.
Well, I'm thinking you do have an opportunity here to utilize some of the federal money for something very important to the town. And if it does push us along a little bit, then so it does.
I would just say, I just want to look at it and make sure we don't have to come back in and increase
Yeah.
taxes because we have to come up with that extra capital we didn't
Correct.
budget on.
That'd be part of the plan, definitely.
That's all. I don't know what the timeline on that capital project was off the
So-
top of my head.
So as it stands now, the 250 is, you say is set aside to buy this, and then what's the timeline? Regardless of ARPA funds of the town eventually buying it,
I believe it was 5 years. So,
saving to buy it.
so, well,
So 3 years. now.
well,
Oh, no.
we need 500,000 more, so it would be 4 more years,
Right.
some sort, so 6 years. I think it was 750 is what we were raising, right?
Yeah.
So 750, this would push it up to being only 2 more years worth of, or 2.5 years worth of,
To acquire it. Otherwise,
out of your budget, yeah,
otherwise we wouldn't be buying it for 6 years.
Mhm.
correct.
Could we buy it and get a loan and stuff?
We could probably,
It'd just be-
do this, it would cut it down and
You
it
would
would
get
be
it
within
sooner.
the timeframe.
Correct. It would fit, the $200,000 would fit within the
time.
guidelines. Because that would, worst case scenario, prices keep going up, it goes to, the town would go 350,000 additional. Say it goes to 800,000. I mean, I never bought one of these trucks, so.
But going back to it, what is the criteria for a project to be approved under this?
Well, Ben put some criteria up here, right?
Yep.
But nobody has filled it out. As to what,
Oh, you mean all those line items?
Oh,
right,
Rick did?
yeah. So one, are they similar?
Well, this is sort of what we talked about over the meeting, especially the first meeting. So it's sort of, I guess, a mix in a way, but and then to sort of divvy them out to where they tick, as far as being a benefit to the town specifically, like the excavator, long-term, and then, food bank stuff. It's like a lot of different things. So that's the idea of sort of setting out this PowerPoint, what do you call it?
Right,
Excel spreadsheet. A little more filling in the categories. And then getting, like I mentioned, Tom in an email was, the first meeting was having a poll or from all of us, ranking things in importance so that we can all see on a sheet of paper, like, oh, 20 of us say that the fire truck is a go, and
okay.
10 of us say this, and 2 of us say that, so we can start to narrow it down, and then,
So you did that.
I don't know, that's what we need to do,
Oh,
because,
Well, we could narrow it down with some specific criteria that we're looking at too.
Yeah, my suggestion is this committee decide on some guidelines and you can take all or none of what I put out there as a first step. And then look up at your wish list, and anything that doesn't meet any of the guidelines, you could take off.
right.
And then you could do what Ron was suggesting and sort of rank things. And if you wanted to, you could even rank the guidelines that you end up adopting, which are the most important,
guidance.
which are the lesser of importance. And then, when you go through the items that at least tick one box, you could say, how many boxes do they tick? You could do it that way, or you could you might decide, and just by way of example, the fire truck is most important. If it only ticks 1 or 2 boxes, some others tick 5 or 6 boxes of what you adopt. You don't have to, it's not a mechanical thing that rules you. It's just to try to make people approach it kind of logically.
Right.
That's the only suggestion.
I mean, I think everything on here, but for maybe 2 or 3 items, fit one of these many criteria, like the one right off the bat that I would say doesn't fit is the Morris Cemetery.
Okay,
So I mean, so like we could eliminate a few obvious ones and go from there. I don't know.
And we also could go with fewer columns to,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we need 27 of them. No, I know it's great, but it really doesn't meet ARP. I mean, the first one should be, doesn't meet.
right. Is it
It's
ARPA
fine.
compliant?
It's
Yeah.
If we decide it doesn't, we should take it off.
Yeah, then
Stop tripping over it.
Right. And, another thing is there alternative funding sources
Right.
too?
Mhm.
Which also could be for the fire engine, if they get a FEMA grant to cover the fire engine. It's a shot in the dark with those grants, but it could supplement whatever we put towards, say, if we do the fire engine, that grant would supplement that, so. Ron, you did mention the charging stations. Just today, I got word back from DEP that they are planning to launch the VW EVSE program in the first quarter of 2022. First round will be dedicated to zero emission charging infrastructure for municipalities and state agencies. So there's hope that we can get money this way also. I'd leave it on the list,
Yeah.
but if this opportunity comes up in the meantime, I think we'll just take advantage of it that way. And that time we can just take it right off the list.
Yeah,
Same thing with broadband.
yeah.
Totally agree.
They just came out with a
Infrastructure.
$100 million for broadband. So,
And we kind of have to see what direction that goes in,
Right.
because they don't feel we're that distressed of a community to,
well, that's when we get a hold of our representatives and we put a
Tell them
little
how.
bug in there.
but
Well, shall we actually go through this list? I mean, either the person who put it up here on the list, who suggested it should go through, or we all should, but we should make some kind of attempt to. I mean, shorter is certainly better. you know,
So
I mean,
You
you have same things here as Ben with different wording.
And you want to go through it and just kind of say yes or no? Does it meet meet the ARPA funding in our minds?
Or maybe at this point.
Yes, no, or maybe?
Yeah, because we don't have everyone here and then some things are kind of on the fence, but yeah, I think yes, no, or maybe. So that we have the yeses kind of stay true and I would color code it too, maybe
Oh, good.
color code the
I have
box.
to take care of that.
All right, so
I like
who's,
color, great idea.
who can,
Drop.
So I got a color, I got my color. code.
yeah,
Red is eliminate.
does we come here?
This,
who can edit this? Rich? You can edit this?
Half of those colors in there.
you have to sit over here, I think.
I did the color.
Nice.
Come on, there's just paint bucket. You highlight it, you.
Like,
Oh, there you
leave it if it's a yes, and maybe yellow if maybe, and a red if.
go. Yeah, there may be more information forthcoming that will
Yeah,
help.
so I could.
So I mean, so I'm just gonna put ARP compliant.
Yeah.
Does it fit the criteria?
Yeah.
That's the first thing we have to ask ourselves, right? And then next, what other columns do we really want to know? We want to know,
Said,
Other funding options.
that would go over
Yeah,
here.
that's on there.
Maybe,
Like if there's grants available or something, you know?
I thought we were just doing yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, we are, right? I think,
clean that up for now.
so future expense to town, right? So we want to know, is it gonna add expense once this money dries up? And then we want to know if it's public visible, right? You guys thought that was kind of important, that if we're gonna spend the money, you want to make sure people
Yeah.
know you spent the money. And we can add one more.
Infrastructure is what Ben had on here too, maybe just
Okay,
benefit infrastructure specifically. Mental health would be the next one.
well, I think if it fits in
The guideline.
Oh,
the one of those 5 guidelines,
okay.
I'll write as many we want, but I think if we just know.
I think just one more, mental health for one more, that's important, and then also, because then we could say, know that those are ones we want to for sure keep or something, I don't know, I think that's a good one, and that would be it.
Okay, so community halls, are yes, right? Ventilation is one of the biggest things they're telling you to.
Right.
With
Air quality.
Air quality.
I have a question about I'm into the HVAC, but would these be, robust enough to use the filters that would filter?
The HEPA filters.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Public visible.
No.
I think people in there would know, but besides everyone else.
Next time you go to a town meeting.
Yeah,
Well, town meeting in the summer would be pretty visible.
Right.
so maybe that's a maybe.
Really that bad, though.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Infrastructure, yes.
Yes.
Other options, no. Right, there's,
Well, other funding, yeah, there's other funding options.
you think so? I mean, besides you paying for them.
Low slips. I mean, there's grants and there's low slips. I'm not saying that's a deal breaker for this. It's a great opportunity to do it, but
And future expense, probably not, I mean, it's like,
Other than general maintenance, but
yeah,
it's not really.
okay, next one. This should probably be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That one's done.
Oh.
How about firehouse bathrooms?
same.
Really?
Wait, what?
Same.
Or on fire?
Firehouse, bath and showers.
So this is the first one, LV, Litchfield Volunteer Ambulance.
I got to get a hold of the chief up there. But they kept up with lost revenue during the pandemic.
So we would say though, but this is this This should be a Y, right? Public visible, probably not. Unless you need it. Infrastructures, no. Future, no.
Well, my question was, what is Litchfield giving their ambulance for lost revenue?
That's where we're gonna have to find out too.
Because
It was on and off the table up in Litchfield, I think.
we just hired them. They're not,
They're gonna bill us for what they need.
right. So we get billed for what the services they provide to us.
Right.
So I don't know why we would have to cover lost revenue for them.
They are a nonprofit, serves the town.
Are they nonprofit?
Are we doing this by town vote? Did we decide that we're gonna do that?
When we get down to the final bunch, it's gonna go before the town.
So the LVA is at, where's the number 20,000?
That was estimated, but we're gonna talk to the chief and get a better number.
And what about what Litchfield or other towns would?
Yeah, he just mentioned that.
That's what Vinny was talking about.
I mean, they do now, they contribute now, right?
We hire them as a service to our town,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a line item budget.
right? It's a line item budget.
Nice.
When they lose revenue, price will go up.
What's the,
Well, that'd be a conversation. I'll have to come back then.
Just can't say the letters. Okay, so let's just, Morris Historical Society, ARP.
Falls under tourism.
Public visible, yes. Infrastructure? No.
No.
Yeah.
As far as the town infrastructure or,
Well, just,
Yeah, that's
I don't
for
know what
building
I-
improvements, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're asking for.
other options?
It's not a town building.
Yeah, so I don't see a.
How is that the
It's
town
infrastructure of the
Yeah,
town.
I don't know.
What's that?
How is that the town infrastructure?
I'm just the guy pressing a letter. I'm,
Well.
no,
Okay.
okay.
Do this.
Oh, my cat blocks don't work.
the Morris Historical Society thing, I mean, I think they need to come in with a presentation or something.
they're putting one together to bring to us.
Other
Yeah,
funding
We're
options?
still early here, don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah, I mean,
Things coming in.
I just,
Well, in all fairness.
Other funding options?
Are there grants?
We're
Well,
looking into it, yeah.
okay. So,
A yes then for other funding.
Oh, yeah.
Future expense? No, right?
I think the thing there is it houses Morris's history.
Right.
And say they go out of business, those buildings do come back to the town of Morris. So,
All right,
But are they gonna open? I think the question probably is it gonna be open or is it just,
Yeah. it's gonna be open.
is it gonna be a thing or is it gonna be what it has been?
Tom's got a plan. I like to hear those.
all right, cemetery,
I love-
ARP? Not sure, right?
Probably not.
Cemetery?
No, take it out, I think, because we said it was a private organization and we'd have to probably,
Well,
before we could do anything with it.
leave it in, but mark it red. So
Oh.
at least it's like somebody can come in and discuss it or something.
Greenwoods Counseling? Yes.
And the director of Greenwood is gonna come and talk to me a little bit about their needs.
I mean, the only other funding option is to raise your budget, so it's probably a no.
For what?
Greenwoods.
Oh.
Right?
Well, they're nonprofit, right?
Well, they're out of Litchfield, right?
Yeah,
But they're nonprofit, right?
I'm not sure.
Northwest Transit,
Actually, he was looking for 10,000,
who's that?
Northwest Transit, which they're part of our budget right now, and I'll send out the letter that he sent out to me from the other towns.
I don't think it's public visible, right? I mean, people don't, they're just gonna ride the bus. If they cut back on stuff, they'll be visible.
What is it that they're asking for? Just lost revenue?
Lost revenue. They had quite a loss in ridership during the pandemic. And And again, that does fall under the guidelines of
How's that affect Morris?
the riders that go from Morris. Usually the ones that utilize it.
The senior bus you're talking about?
Well, it's not really a senior bus.
Well-
Anyone can ride it.
Right.
And they just take
Oh,
donations.
that's, okay.
Northwest Transit District. Yeah, it serves the town of Morris, serves, I don't know how many other towns in Northwest. Corner.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah, and they do have fairly good ridership here in Morris.
No.
It's dropped off and they're still supporting the buses without the revenue that they used to have.
So I'm sure they're asking the other area towns for funding also.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'll get that letter out to everybody.
That seems reasonable.
Well, that's serving,
But that's something that would have to be explained at a town meeting because we didn't really know that.
Yeah, I didn't-
So,
it's definitely serving a certain population of
yeah,
Morris. that
it
could
makes
really use it.
sense,
Oh, yeah.
certain sense, yeah.
So there's no really other funding options. They have to.
Other than our budget, which will probably go up to.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, if they stop writing, somebody's gonna get mad, right? Somebody must use it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Recreation access to the ball fields. This is to input stairs.
Yeah.
Stairs there.
Yeah.
Infrastructure and visible.
I mean, I guess we could put that with the mini excavator. He gets the mini excavator, he puts the stairs on. $40,000.
Exactly. Just buy the concrete, that's all.
That's it.
That kind of goes along with the cemetery too. Didn't you say that the excavator could?
Right, but that's, if it's not owned by the town, then,
We
you
can't
know,
do
we
anything.
can't really do private work.
Right.
If it was a town-owned cemetery, then we'd absolutely be able to do it, but since it's not, yeah, can't really do that.
Still waiting on, from Berkshire Alarm, the good quote for the access system here to allow the library to buzz people into the two doors and the land use area to buzz people into this door.
Could that go loosen?
You could.
That could go on budget too.
Does that go what?
I mean, a lot of these things could go
Either,
capital non-recurring, they could go budget, they could
Yeah, they do have
fund
it.
balance, they could all have optional funding.
Yeah,
But
So-
that one kind of ties into the pandemic type of thing of the access to the town hall
Mhm.
and keeping employees safe along with the people, members of the public.
Affordable housing, there's really nothing there, so do we really, we don't really have to put anything in there, right? Cell phone antennas, we said probably can go. What do you guys?
Isn't that part of the new thing that just came out?
What was that?
Oh, that's broadband.
That's broadband.
That's
yeah, but that's,
But if you look at that cell tower, 65,000 to put up satellite cell towers, I guess along the, by the transfer station. Well, if you remember back, we have a approval for a cell tower.
Right.
We
Whatever.
just-
we don't have carriers. Never got a carrier for
we
it.
never reached out to a carrier.
That's why we had the Homeland Towers was, that was their job to reach out to the carriers.
We canceled their contract.
They
I
had
know.
it for 4 years though.
Right.
They had 4 years and they never got a carrier.
But I think if we reach back out to them, you may get some progress now.
You should speak to satellite. comes in.
And you'd also get income from that cell tower. And be able to put your fire department stuff on there free of charge.
I'd reach out to them, but I wouldn't go much farther than, are you ever planning on
Well,
taking and selling it to carriers? Because they never did.
Last time I talked to them down in their offices in Danbury, even they were under the impression that with the changing technology, the cell towers that you see today are going to go by the wayside. It's going to be a different technology moving forward. Obviously, that technology goes to the metropolitan areas first, then it spreads out from there. So yeah, it'd probably take a while to get out to here in Morris. It's worth a conversation with them to say, any interest by any carrier in this town, in this area? Because Washington had to go to, I think, their politicians to really press AT&T to put a antenna down in Washington. They weren't going to get it. AT&T did not want to do it. But with enough political pressure, they got it.
I think if the selectmen reach out to the carrier. Because if you remember, our last vote was not to renew the contract of whoever it was, Homeland. And I reached out to that gentleman and he said it looked like the town of Morris had no interest in a carrier. So we, after the vote, but I think if we reach out to them, we may have a little bit more luck with it because the surrounding towns are starting to go for cell towers. I think Kent went after one and somebody else just recently was looking into a cell tower. Because I was under the impression that cell towers were obsolete, but now I'm starting to see more and more activity on cell towers. So it may be something we can reach out to and recover some revenue from it.
We just cleared that area behind the transfer station too, where that was supposed to go.
You have to go back to town vote.
No, we already have a cell tower voted. We just have to get a.
Yeah, but then we voted to not go forward with it. So you'd have to go back and do it again.
Not go forward with the carrier.
No, not go forward with this. We didn't
The
do it.
lease, the lease of the
The
property.
lease is expired,
Right, we'd have to go through another lease agreement with somebody,
but I think you'd have to go through another town meeting.
probably for that, yes.
What do you have on cell phones, Eric?
I thought this was more not, I didn't think this was to get a tower. I thought this was more to put little hotspots in the
Right.
town. So people
I didn't know.
can get service everywhere in the town. So no.
That's what that is, yeah.
That was, right? So I just put in, again, I'm just trying to get through each one, but ARP, it's yes, it's public visible because there's nothing worse than losing a call. Infrastructure, I would say it
Yeah.
helps build the town. Other funding, not, I mean, possible with broadband, they might throw that in there as a kicker, but they're not saying it right now, and there's no future expense. It's just once you get the towers up, people are happy. No,
I know.
and I went to the garden. Garden was yes, public visible, yes, infrastructure, no, other funding, no, future expense, no.
The town garden thing. I mean, in my opinion, that's something that we should take off.
Yeah, no, I think if we just go through the list of,
No, I'm just expressing.
no, I totally agree with you. No, I know, but
We're gonna say you're crazy. I don't.
yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know if we need a sunken garden with the Japanese bath. but maybe,
We already have that out there.
Yeah, it depends on the time of year.
I mean, could you say town park
I
improvements
think
for the
This
town?
kind of a large.
Oh.
It's kind of a
Other
large.
things that you could put in there that would,
Yeah, no, again, I'm not knocking anything. I'm just trying to get through the list that we see.
Right.
They're all great ideas.
Somebody brought it up, so we gotta at least do the due diligence of putting things next to it. So there's no future expense. It's even actually less mowing, so that's good news.
Sunken garden.
Oh,
Fire engine,
stage at the beach. I talked to Kristen about that. And I said, what do you think of a stage at the beach? She goes, well, not really. She goes, although it'd be nice. Sorry about my voice. It's not COVID. I got tested. She said it'd be nice to have the stage behind the cabin. So people could sit on the hillside and have the stage down below and see the band from there, you know, instead of having the band up at the pavilion. Band would be down below, have the whole hillside for people to sit on. I said, well, if you want to do that, you can get portable stages too.
Mhm.
I know like the community center, I borrowed theirs once. It's only a 2-tier stage. But it was portable, storable,
Mhm.
take it out. It's not there anymore out of your way. That might be the way to go with that. Yeah, right.
Good idea.
So now we have power at that cabin. Make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
That would be the way to go.
I
Tom.
think so too, because you have
Yeah.
like 2 stages there already and the balcony and the
Yeah.
pavilion. So something like you're saying, if you want a band wanted to play there, that's a good idea.
Plus, we could use it maybe for Memorial Day in the future or
Mhm.
other events that are up here in the center of town.
So should we,
Yeah, portable, you could move around and
should
use
we,
it.
should we lower that price to like $10 or what do we? Take it out.
You'd have to find out what the price is.
Have to look at prices.
I mean, it's not 65,000.
No,
So should we
or
temporarily?
is that something we fund elsewhere?
I'll go halfway, 35.
I don't know, let's see what the price is on it, because I think it would be good.
That almost be like a town pool thing.
And
I'll look into
it
that.
may fall because we have to get rid of $443,000.
Right, if you look at that, if
So
you look at
no
that,
way.
if you look at that bottom line,
Yeah, 443,000 isn't gonna happen.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, the sunken garden will help.
Huh?
So the sunken garden will help.
So I asked if you're going to the
Is the sunken garden, is that marked in red or?
Oh, no. Oh, you want me to mark it right?
I personally would.
No, we decided we wanted that. We're gonna put it next to the pond.
I mean, I think there's other
Japanese
big
schools.
projects like that that would benefit the town more than the sunken garden, but. It's a nice, as it is.
I can't see where you put it over there.
What's that?
All you have to do is dig a hole.
I know, but where?
Water.
Like, where would you put it over there?
I don't know.
That's why I don't see in my mind where it goes, you know?
Yeah.
Under the foundation?
All right, so I did the fire engine, yes, no. And then handicap access at the boat launch. I mean, it's visible, it's ARP. It's only 10 grand, so could that be something else we do, fund some other way if we really want it?
Is this the boat launch that's next to, on the
Where
road?
are
that's
I think it's your town one. Right, that's the one. So it's just allow anyone could get on a boat versus
Is-
without being,
What line number are you on?
I think down to 18.
Oh, I'm missing you. Here it is. I bet.
Is that the big boat launch you're saying, or the little?
The little
Town.
town boat launch.
That's
We're not
adjacent.
giving anything to the state.
That's next to the
Town beach.
That's accessed by a different
That would
road.
eat up a lot. I mean, you'd have to, the message sign would have to be probably capital, right? That would have to be something like
Message
capital.
would have to be capital
But I mean,
donation.
So it's not, this stuff is just if we have, you guys have to pay for it as a town, so that would be a no, right?
What, the message center?
Yeah, no, just saying that. I think when we use other funding, it's no if you guys actually have to pay for it out of your budget. If you have to. raise
Yeah, I got
taxes.
it.
So
Right.
then when I put no there, it's not like you guys can't put it in capital, it's just, but then you're.
But there's not really an easy grant or
Correct, yeah, there's not.
outside funding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, friends and neighbors.
What is that?
I don't know.
Just a nonprofit?
Nonprofit.
Is that the,
Description for that, if they want or anything, or is it lost revenue?
That's money for, they do a kids program. And they make snack packs for the kids. Friday, I believe.
Mhm.
And so that money would pay for,
Okay, yeah, I just saw that the line was blank next to it. I wasn't sure.
Well, here's a
Description for that.
letter from Marion Orzel. Morris Friends and Neighbors have been providing aid and services to Morris residents in need for over 7.5 years. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we've been purchasing a washing machine for a single mom with 3 children, clothing gift cards for a single dad with 3 children, winter boots, hats, mittens for 8 children, JMS, fuel for a family. Continue to serve 40 to 50 people with our 4th Friday of the month perishable food pantry. And currently 15 children receive a food bag containing healthy nutritional food items each week. Last year, we had 19 children. They said pandemic has hampered the fundraising efforts and the funds are being depleted.
That the number 20, that they 20,000 they asked, or
I believe so. Yeah, because I think they put this in without a number and then they came back with the number.
so I would mark that as green and maybe we can add to that,
Add to it, like what?
increase the amount.
We're going in the wrong direction, aren't we?
I'd rather,
So, I mean, well, you'd have to look, I think, at all the nonprofits then equally.
I think what's hard is
Go back to all the
you don't know how much
nonprofits
they normally spend, how do you know how much they really lost?
and then try to get that past the town.
And does the town
So-
fund them with anything now? No.
No, they're a nonprofit in town.
I mean,
Well, they aren't nonprofit.
No, they're not?
Right? Well, they're,
they're tied in with the church.
Part of the church, yeah.
So it would be under the church. Ooh. What does that do?
Separation, church and state. Is that what you mean?
They don't have a separate 501c3?
I don't believe so.
All right, we'd have to find out then.
So yes,
So I don't know if it would fly.
public visible, yes.
Um,
You're kind of both ways, right? You're.
Oh, you're doing me?
Yeah. so
I'm sorry.
Structure wise, I mean, you're getting some capital items, but you're also.
Yes.
So.
What is this?
The Morris
library.
Public Library.
Did you add the descriptions that Maureen said?
I didn't fit them all in there, no. I mean, that's a whole sheet, like. Other funding options, do you have other funding options?
We are doing a fundraiser. Friday, as a matter of fact, we're sending it out. So we won't know yet what that.
But it's not gonna be $21,000, is it?
No,
There's a guide. I mean, you could put yes, but I don't,
And future expenses, yes, right?
no,
On the stuff that she wants to do, well,
Yeah.
no.
it's hotspots.
yeah.
That was
You're
going to be,
Adding to programming and things like
Yes.
that. So yeah, if you continue the same level, it'd be a future expense.
would it be a future, but it wasn't going to be a future expense to the town, right?
No,
How would you pay for it? Oh, to library, the fund?
through fundraising.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's why it makes sense, because the town budget has never included that. So we've always paid for it through fundraising. And for 2 years, we didn't have the extra fundraising.
So this really should be the library fund, correct?
Library fund?
Yeah, like this isn't gonna be part of the library, the town expense library portion. It's gonna
No.
be
The Friends of the Library.
Okay.
No,
Well, I
it'd be under the
don't know
Friends.
about that.
I mean, the
Who's
Friends
taking
is,
the Money.
Yeah, when I contributed.
The 04 is gonna take the money, right?
Someone's taking the money.
who's paying the bills? I mean, if the town took over the programs for 2 years,
Right,
then the town would pay the expense on it and then the library would take it back, right?
yes,
As far as buying the,
hotspots and stuff.
what was it? There was Chromebooks in there too, right?
Yeah,
So that expense would be
that's a one time.
to well, yeah, that would be buying stuff and that would be paid to the town, right?
Yes,
But wouldn't it be easier just to give the money to the 04 fund and let them, so it never comes into the town, the expense? So we don't have to.
If you can do it, but I mean, if you give them into the 04 fund,
We're not looking to add to a budget this money.
I'm confused. So, I mean, we're not adding to the budget, but so if you go through things that are like this community hall, are you adding to the budget?
No,
Then how would you do it?
otherwise,
No, I mean, to
Oh,
take
no, we go buy
30,000.
it. No, we would buy this out of the, so what happens, I created another fund for the ARP money.
Right,
So we would write checks out of that
right.
to pay for each item will stay in that fund.
Okay, you know where I'm
It just-
going with this, right?
yeah,
So what makes the library different?
so that's
What I'm
where we
saying.
get
It
paid out
actually
of.
doesn't, but I was just thinking, I see what you're saying. So it'd come out of the library. It'd come out of the
It
16
wouldn't touch the
fund.
library, right?
You wouldn't touch the library, it would come out of the
I
fund,
think it would be easy.
allocated to the library. What I'm
Correct,
saying
it would
is
be
the Friends
charged.
right now, honestly, there's 3 of us and one's deceased and one's, so I mean, to put that on and just, we keep talking about the Friends and I'm not sure what makes the library different where you couldn't do it as the library.
No, you can. No, I see what you're saying. I mean, but we're gonna be cutting checks to other people too, though. When we give money to Greenswood, we're not gonna have the bills from the people, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna cut a check to Greenswood.
Well, Greenswood doesn't have a departmental budget.
Correct. Well, it is in your, yeah.
So the library isn't different than community hall. I'm coming from the Board of Finance. I have a sheet. It says community hall. That's the maintenance expense. So,
Yeah, I mean, either, that's fine. You know, if you want to cut, yeah, that's fine. I was just thinking. it'd be,
plus you have to track it, right?
Yeah, I have to track where the money goes, every spent. Yeah.
So the alternative would give them a pile of money to the 04 and just say lost revenue and that would be, and they could do whatever.
Yeah, but they would have to show what they spent it on, just like you would if you got a grant from the state. That's all I'm saying. That's how it would
Meet the
work.
guidelines.
You'd have to show receipts.
Correct. Everyone has
That money.
Yeah, if, like, yeah,
You're just not gonna write a check for $10,000 that here you go. You need receipts to show that $10,000 or whatever the amount is.
I go back to my original question. Just,
no, you're right. I mean, it can all come, as long as it, yeah, it won't touch the old one. It would be out of the ARP account. Okay.
I mean, I think everybody that we talk to, that has to come back and drill down what they're doing, because you're talking, you know, you guys have the list,
Right,
but a lot of them are just, we need a pile of money. And
Right.
we've talked about them coming in and saying, what do you need it for? Because obviously not everybody's getting everything on the wish list, and
correct.
I think what's gonna be hard is you're gonna have you're gonna have a yearly subscription that you're gonna have to pay. So the first 3 years is gonna be paid out of ARPA. And during that time, you're gonna have to raise enough money to continue it on, because it's not gonna move over to the 01 account. As long as that, I mean, it's easier
it
just.
would never move over the one unless it was.
No,
added
I'm
to
just
the
saying,
budget.
no, as long as that's what you're saying.
No, we-
This meeting, friends and
Yeah.
families would take the bill on later.
Yes.
BLPA.
Van Lake Protective Association. And actually, Jamie Fisher from White Memorial and Van Lake Protective was here yesterday. Was it yesterday or Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
And there was a large watershed study done for Bantam Lake. And a couple of the improvements within the town of Morris was to improve some of the drainage at the Morristown Beach and the Morristown Boat Launch. He had some estimates there. And I believe they totaled up to about 150 between the two projects.
Yeah, around there.
And this again would be where the excavator may come in handy. Maybe bulldozer.
Yeah.
But so I gotta check back with BLPA on that and see what a good number might be. There could be alternative funding for that. There was talk about a grant that's available because now they've done this watershed study. It opened up to some EPA grant funds. But the competition is fierce on those things and not extremely likely that they would get a significant amount of money for it. So that'd be one way to improve the water quality for Bantam Lake.
You have to see what exactly they want in that too.
Yeah.
You know,
It's very
what
preliminary.
kind of improvements are they looking for to improve the water quality?
Well, they kind of mapped it out and showed us what they want to do with the parking lot at the town beach and
Right.
with the access road for the boat launch.
Mhm.
Trying to filter the water before it reaches the lake.
Right.
So that should get revised.
So this is this is the people we give $25,000 every year,
30,000.
30,000 this year. All right, food grant.
And that's another one that would go away after 3 years. Or whatever it might be.
Vehicle charging station. I just put,
That may be coming from another source.
yeah, that's why I made it red.
Yeah.
Because with so much money coming for all different directions.
Yeah,
Actually, our auditors said, hold on. Looking to put in vehicle charging station because of the infrastructure bill and stuff like that.
all right.
And maybe this DEP grant, so.
Can we back up one to the food grant? Is the 15,000, is that for 3 years or is that just?
That was estimated for the 3 years. That's like 3,600 a year,
Yeah,
so three,
okay. Just,
depending on how many families you got too.
Could be 4 years.
Is there other funding options for the playground? Is there any grants we could do with that?
Could do steep if you had enough money. I mean, LoSiP would get burned up real
Yeah,
quick.
it'd get burned
We're
up.
talking
Fundraising.
fundraisers, anything.
It's possible, right? If all this stuff keeps adding, you're gonna need more people
Probably.
to keep everything going. You're in WI's.
Eventually you have to.
There's gonna be a
look
limit.
Down and find
We'll never
400.
get off that mini excavator.
There's a limit on what we can do, you know?
No, there's
Wishful
not.
thinking
I
on
always
some
say
of it.
Superman only has one.
I've seen your overtime bills. There's not a limit. Keep going.
I think this is kind of public visible, right?
Which what?
The mini excavator.
Excavator, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, drive it
Knock
down
that
the
budget
road,
down,
up
the
the
public
road.
will know.
You could have a touch an excavator.
Yeah.
If I drop
I
your,
don't think it's gonna be a mini anymore.
yeah, I think we're going full on equipment.
We like the town of
What
Middlebury.
was the estimate on that?
Yeah, I got 4 different quotes here. It's roughly 80,000
With attachment?
with everything we would need for it. Yep.
Oh, that's good.
But you guys are gonna come back with savings, so definitely it would be very
Oh, yeah, I
visible
mean-
and people would very much know.
I put together just a brief request for this. If you want to just pass it, take one
Tom, did
down,
you say that?
just to
the
say
Mr.
what we
Board of
can
Finance
use. it
Chairman, where you're.
Water improvement?
It might be- might be a worthy capital project too.
for. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Strange,
Saving and rental.
Yeah, right, but no one.
I know, and it's, we
Yeah.
won't have to
That's
contract
all.
out as one.
no,
No,
I mean,
The rent,
other than our town budget.
Right.
Yeah, and at some point in time, when they get a board back together. we'll have-
Yep.
You guys are renting now?
we were, yeah, but just kind of a project we rent it for, you know.
If you have an estimate of how many projects.
Yeah, yep.
So where we at?
We're down at, I mean, I went through broadband study, just put yes, it's ARPA, but everything else is.
Are
just-
the broadband study under that whole thing of broadband and everything that the state is spending millions to do for us?
Now, yeah,
Well, what were we saying about broadband?
Well, there's cell tower. Oh. that was-
broadband, supposedly there's like $100 million.
Right,
This 30,000 is only a study. Once the study is done, I think the last estimate was gonna cost $4 to $5 million to install it.
for the town?
For the town. So you're doing,
The satellites, Starlink,
so you're gonna spend $30,000 to find out that we're gonna,
You're never gonna get that.
Well, that's the thing. If the state is going to fund that 4 to 5 million,
I'm gonna fund the 35.
right, well, that, we would.
so I would wait for
find
the
that
state
out.
to come through and.
That's what,
reach
that's
out.
what I was asking, is
Yeah.
that if
See
the
if there
state
was
has
other
this big
funding.
incentive, then do we need to look at something that by the time we ever got it passed to the budget, it would be,
We wouldn't be able to
Would-
afford the.
You're not gonna
installation
use
of
it.
Yeah.
broadband would be dead. We'd be onto something else. The technology would change.
We missed one about drainage improvements.
Yeah, I just put
We have a
Yeah, that's
number
part of
on it.
That's part of the excavator.
Yeah.
And the drainage improvement.
drainage.
the
improvements, there's
excavator
no
came
money.
after. Mhm. So,
Can we just take that off then?
We can, I mean, yeah. Let's see where I can insert a line.
On the other end and hit like control I.
You want to insert something?
Insert, click on the numbers. And then insert, just hit like insert row.
All right, so. So what's the first category we want to put these under? Like we'll move so right now we have 30 some odd things. But do you guys want to start breaking them out to like, what's for the public, public visible infrastructure?
Yeah.
So you can see, then we could just make it easier to look at this list without,
Can we back up a second? What's the security cameras? 30, 31?
security cameras.
We didn't put
we
anything
never
down
got
for
a price
that.
on there.
Never.
No, we never, again, that was just we might be able to take that one out. That would be public safety.
No, leave it in, but we need a number, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to get a
How
number.
about sewer manhole inspection?
oh yeah, that one Mike Doyle came in with just the other day. And 30 to 50,000, which is pretty broad range. But they haven't done an inspection on the manhole covers on the sewer system in 20 years. And, when that project was done, it was done, I think, the belief to the town residents that the users would pay for the system, which they have over the years. I think this, perhaps he's seen this as an opportunity to get some work done, through this money, which wouldn't cost the users anything. I'd like to ask him a couple of questions because they have about $200,000, I believe, in CDs and such. Rick?
Yeah, they have, between all their accounts, they have about $300,000.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know exactly what that means. We're not in their business. I just keep their.
That's why I'd
business.
have to ask him some questions.
Yeah, so we need to understand why would you need 50 from us if you already have 300,000? Again, I mean, I just think it's a fair question, not to say they don't,
Right.
maybe it has something to do with the 300,000, but is this just because the money's available? And it's just ask for them to pay
Sewer
for it.
lines.
And you might want to ask them about this. No one's looked at anything for 20 years because some guys come out and looked at I have a sewer manhole cover in the middle of my lawn. Someone came out and showed me ID and looked at it like 2 years ago and poked around and, I don't know what they were doing, but they said they
Litchfield
check
maintains all
everything.
those.
Alrighty then.
Well, I think last time they did it, I think this started a big problem with Litchfield because so much water was going through into Litchfield from Morris, and they had to figure out where it was coming from. I think it was about 20 years ago. They went through, inspected everything to make sure it wasn't leaking in from groundwater. And so maybe this is to redo whatever they did 20 years ago. I don't know. I don't know if it involves cameras and such and all that.
It was just two guys and they pried it open and they looked down in it and,
Litchfield sewer, probably, yeah.
they were out there for about 20 minutes and they left. And I made them turn their truck off because they were leaving their truck idling the whole time they're doing it. I said, just turn that off. Come on, come on, guys.
Or smoking.
That's why they got out of there so quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said, don't come back to this guy. He's not friendly.
But we can ask Mike about that.
So you're putting in like the infrastructure up top and then the next like health stuff or?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So air quality, building improvements. So what I see is, I don't, help me if I missed any. But there's like 6 of them or 5 of them. And
It's hard for us to see that, Rich.
Yeah, we can't see a thing you're
Yeah.
doing, Rich, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Trust him. he's a
That's right, you go back there and the old people will go.
Kyle can see it.
I
Yeah.
think I got my
the old
contacts.
people will go to the Front.
so there's $135,000 so far in AC.
Can you know how we have the original one?
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Now you can see it.
Oh,
oh,
well,
Email,
it takes the sport right out of it.
Yeah. email the new one to us?
Yeah.
And-
After the show.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying like right now.
No,
I guess not. Okay.
Oh, no. All right.
No.
am I allowed to be on the list? Because I haven't gotten anything. So
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm not a member of the committee, but I
What do
would
we want to call the next
waste
one?
your time.
We got air quality.
Mental health.
Oh,
Oh, or infrastructure.
how'd you get in here?
No, I think it-
You invited me.
Well, then he should put you on the list.
Health and safety or
yeah, health and safety.
historical society.
And my phone's
Could
ringing.
have recreation and tourism.
Well,
So that would be. Oh, we have more than one.
yeah, there's
Friends and neighbors.
yeah, and the food grant. Up, 24, 28.
What you're doing.
Yeah.
We say
What else? What's safety?
safety.
I mean, what do we have with safety in our list?
Oh, yeah.
Would that be,
Mention 5.
I would call that buying equipment. What about like, what about this? That's really is safety, right? I mean, it's just, or is that public?
What is it?
You could almost have one for like recreation,
Yeah.
playground, access, boat access,
Yep.
town park garden. That's mental health.
Could be stress reliever.
So we'll do this, what should we call it? Public, just stuff that makes public improvements, or what's a better word? That sounds kind of.
Well, as we just use these over here, like public visible infrastructure, mental health, future, I mean, public visible, I guess, if you didn't.
I like that.
So you-
That would be,
recreation access. Town park gardens, which
I get the feeling we should almost cut that one out of there.
I definitely think so.
the garden,
Yeah, but
get rid of it.
I'm not,
Sunken
I'm not.
garden.
Am I getting rid of the garden or?
Octopus's garden,
Who asked for it?
We'll put a Christmas tree up
That in
before
there.
Thanksgiving, Tom.
not this Ben.
Yeah,
Let's
but so is he gonna be?
You could speak to it.
You can leave it in if
Like-
somebody wants to,
Yeah.
Maybe leave it in, but take the dollar amount out.
or just leave it in, and let somebody come in and defend it or talk to it or sell.
So the historical society should be in there, right?
The what?
The historical society should be part of public visible, like people see
Yeah.
the difference there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, probably a lot of, what did you decide to come up with for,
Public visible. These are like things like,
and then what's your next one?
I'm not there yet. I see, whatever's left for us to put in column will make it.
How about quality of life? That would be your cell towers and your,
That's safety.
for safety, like quality of life. The
You
tree,
got the beach,
put the tree up.
library probably should go in there, right? Because that will make,
Quality of life or,
I think you got to go public visible because they'll go there and they'll be able to do more things, correct?
Absolutely.
Message sign,
Public visible. Or infrastructure,
okay. Next one, okay.
or public visible. I mean, we don't have to be that.
Next is-
How much is the message sign? That's a
25,000.
great idea.
It would help a lot.
At the discounted price?
Tom, on that, do you have to get approval from the state or something on that? Because I know one time we looked at one for the firehouse
Planning and zoning.
Playground.
and there was something to do with so much off a road.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what.
Checked out where we think it might go and state was fine and planning zoning, the town is exempt from it.
Okay, so you don't need any special permits or something? Nothing.
Yeah, we've been researching it for a while, just trying to figure out how to get it funded.
Should Northwest
Lots of
Transit
design, by the way.
move up to public visible?
Tasteful.
A real
Yeah,
brick, not fake brick.
Public.
I didn't specify fake.
I was thinking, I was gonna do lots
Excuse me?
lost revenues, like just do a
Oh,
group of lost revenues in the sense of,
like,
people that were asking for money because they didn't make enough money and, because I don't know if it's really,
Lost revenue?
I see what you mean.
I
Yeah,
don't, because people still see the guy drive, so they're not gonna see him driving more, or any different, I hope. I mean, I don't know.
Good one.
Infrastructure, we're gonna put engine 5.
Can you bold that in? Sorry. So much, makes things so much easier to see. This is great.
Startup.
see how good you are with the spreadsheet.
Progress.
It's much better when you don't, as they start to go down.
What questions do we have? I know like price on a stage, Litchfield ambulance, question on them. Were there any others that I need to reach out to get some answers for you?
Well, you just said with the sewer guys,
Oh, Mike Doyle,
you had some questions for him.
that's why, alternative funding.
What's the slide and presentation?
Yep, their presentation, yeah.
Is someone going to speak on affordable housing? Or what?
I did last time, I'll speak again. It's part of our town, newly adopted town plan. That one of the items in that plan is to establish a down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers. And there's currently no money in the town
Right.
budget for that. It would, you could structure it as a loan, so you would be self-perpetuating. You could, we don't have a town affordable housing committee, like Litchfield has a 501c3. A lot of the towns do. We don't have one. If you got one in town, they would obviously be raising money. But that is why that was up there, is because it is a part of the town plan to improve the quality of life in Morris.
Yeah, no,
Price everybody out of living here. So there's no number there because you could put $1 in it, you could put $100 in it, you could put $10,000 in it. I don't know.
I think the town of Washington has that. I'll reach out to them and see how it's been working for it.
Yeah. I mean, it may be getting the cart before the horse when you don't even have a town housing trust
Right.
organization, but on the other hand, might be a golden opportunity to get things moving in that direction. So it's really be up to you guys and then the town meeting, whether they thought that was a great idea or a terrible idea. But that's what that's about.
Did we, the stage at the beach, could we just tweak that while we're like, well, just have it say, what'd you call them, platform or temporary?
Portable stage.
Portable stage.
So I took 30,000 out of it. You want to go lower?
Yeah, I looked up portable stages while we were sitting here. I mean, you can get a nice one for 10 grand.
Yeah, that's,
Oh,
I mean, you can get them cheaper, but
can you put portable on in the description?
maybe 20, I mean, 15,000 just
Yeah.
in case.
Well, then you gotta get the enclosed trailer to haul it around in and then.
Right, so I,
Town on a real slope bed down there.
Get- Put it on the
There you go.
excavator and have it move it.
that's portable.
would you keep it at 10? Because you're right. I have some additional expenses for
Yeah,
that.
you better put it up.
All right, where are we at? That's me.
Yeah, you want it? Good.
I'm working.
673, 6183. Did you find a book?
Yeah, I'm going over there now.
Thanks.
Does the town or the beach and rec have a PA system?
Yes,
Yeah.
both.
Two different.
Yeah, the Beach and Rec kind of bought a smaller one for little events. The town ended up getting a large used one that we can use like at Memorial Day, the car show. I mean, it really covers the area pretty well. It's amazing what you can get used, good quality,
But
at
yeah,
a low price.
yeah. This is coming along.
300.
What do we spend money on, Rick?
What's that?
What do we spend the money on?
What do you want to spend it on?
I said, how did we do with spending the money? Are you doing the totals now?
Yeah, I'm putting them in different buckets, just so it's easier to, I mean, it's not gonna be pretty as I could do it for tomorrow, but it'll work for now.
This is good. It's getting good.
So right now,
Community. So the building is 135, health and safety,
yeah, I think I need to, oh, I put that in there, okay.
45.
So this is, so right now, air quality, building improvements is 130. There's still some down below. I don't think I got in the right buckets.
That's all right. It's
Health and safety's looking for 45,000. And again, if you look at the percent of how much money we're getting, if you look at 45,000, it's only like 8% of the money you're getting from the state. If you put it into perspective of how much are they asking of the total? I'm not saying give it to them. I'm just saying that's,
well, yeah, I mean, you could also decide to just give
There may
Three
be,
charities.
So public visibility is really, again, there's some that I think are higher weighted in there than others.
Yeah, that garden, who put zero in that garden?
Man, that'd be crazy.
yes, also gotta think, say we do reduce like a number for one of the projects, that may be the make or break for that project too. So if you reduce it, it could just go away.
Yeah, I think if you put zero in there, it's not really,
There's some that
Well,
you may have
what
an
about
option,
tenuous, you might as well take it
other
off.
funding to help
What's
cover
that?
the balance.
What about cemetery? Should that be zero?
I thought we took that out.
You can have.
I don't like to.
No, it was red.
I just read it. Yeah. Red means bad. Green, good.
What's purple?
Do you want to have,
Purple, I think I put in
Dead?
there just, I don't know why I put purple.
Just stick a fork in it, it's dead. Is
Okay.
that what purple is?
do you want to have Cliff Wheeler come in and speak to the Morris Cemetery?
Hmm,
The only problem, Tom, we don't know if it
Not unless we're looking to spend money.
doesn't match it.
We could talk to the auditor.
Yeah, that's the hard one because since he's private. Well, I guess people can ask for funds. No, people can ask for funds.
Yeah, you can give it
It's
to,
on there. So then we come down here, engine 5 is the big one. I mean, cell antennas, again. Vehicle charging stations is red because we believe it can be done by somebody else. Mini excavator is number one on the
That's
list.
Green, that's, yay.
Yeah.
play it now.
Green, yeah.
That's why I'm here.
I mean,
That should be now. We'll see it in 6 months.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is, what we can do is if that's something that we all agree on, you can hold a town meeting and buy that mini excavator on a town approval. You don't have to go and do all these projects at once,
That's true.
correct.
because
Yeah, you said it was.
somebody, Woodbury last night just had a town meeting to spend $50,000 on Wi-Fi for their senior center. That was part of they decided 50,000, they wanted to do it, they had a town meeting, they okayed it.
I think that's.
Yeah.
So we can go and do this step by step, we don't have to.
yeah, I think we ought to get through the list and
Right.
come up with what we all agree, and that there's something we can move forward on quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
Do it, because
And then
we don't want to have 10 town meetings, we want to have like
Right.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right. But if that mini excavator is something everybody agrees on and we need it, we'll move forward with it.
Board of Finance would be high-fiving if we.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're telling me you're gonna save me money and it doesn't have to come out of capital? Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
Board of Finance is behind you. I'll speak for the rest of the class.
Good.
Tracy, when you have your Board of Finance meeting, will you go
If you-
over this with, or they don't?
Vehicle charging.
Not until we have a clue.
I did that just because I think.
I'm not gonna drag them through
Fast.
a wish list that's so
I might be wrong,
far of.
but I think it's
Give them like a heads up that maybe
country.
in the excavator or something, maybe.
Oh, yeah, pertinent stuff I will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's only $15,000.
but I figured until we get
in there.
Oh, but it's
So,
for the cheapo.
down on some,
But,
down on planet Earth.
$70,000 one, I can't.
Which one
see
you're thinking?
anyone voting
I don't
for
even know
that.
if, I don't have a
I agree totally. I just,
So I got,
if you keep
I got
the,
insurmountable problems
cemetery-
before I get to the wish list.
No, I don't.
I have no Phil, Adele, and Dave,
Not that we won't put the
and
money there. It's just, I mean, everyone wants their opinion heard. As far as I'm concerned, if I gave you an opinion, they ain't about to put on your sheet. I'd be like ripped. So I'm not saying they're gonna get money.
I will be here, however, just to make sure. I'm not gonna call it. Tom,
But on the meeting,
I'm coming tonight, just to make sure. I'm not gonna try to call it now,
Go to safety.
Yeah,
because maybe Gary shows up, maybe I can get Chris to come for a quick meeting.
To the very, very bottom, sorry.
I'm just gonna put one more in here. I think I have to put. I mean, I think this fits more in there. The handicap access to the boat ramp for health and safety. So,
Probably.
so the only two I have left are broadband study. They have money in the sewer manhole thing that
Well, they should
we'll think
go,
about that one.
yeah, Mike Doyle.
Yeah, maybe they should just linger on the bottom until we firm them up, because they're not really strong.
Infrastructure.
Are these ranked in order of what you?
No, what I did is
No,
just
no.
categorize.
It's good. You should put infrastructure further up if you're doing it in order, not have it
No,
toward the end.
no, he's not doing it order. He's just organizing them. But then the question is, of those three things, what order should they come in importance that we put together?
There it goes. Number one's infrastructure. What do you guys want number two?
What is, well, the question now that I just said is, out of the four categories we have, what's the most important thing? Do we think?
I don't know if it's by category, it's by project.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean,
I mean,
Infrastructure, what's the second one? Air quality.
air quality and building improvements,
The next one is,
health and safety.
Public visible.
Public visible is really an odd category. if
It
I may
is.
Say so, because it's not really,
Quality of life.
it's not really got a organizing principle behind it
Well,
in terms of
Well,
what
it's stuff
is
that
the
you don't-
use. It just happens to be.
I think it's stuff you.
we have a one-shot deal to bring things to the town to make
Well,
your
but surely
life
you
better.
can sell them on it.
Well, I think it's,
Makes
Well, I know,
sense.
but what do you call it? Happy Days, Santa Claus is delayed. I mean,
Yeah,
definitely
gotta give it a title.
under the guidelines.
yeah, I mean, so under the guidelines, some of that stuff would fall under what tourism. I mean, I could change the word.
Tourism.
Public visibility is just that people say you got $600,000 and wow, we got equipment for the kids to play at the beach. That's cool. You know what I mean? We didn't have to pay for it.
Well,
Yeah,
but
so what is
I
it?
mean, I'm
What's
just
its
saying,
title?
for instance, the mini excavator is going to be publicly visible, but you put it under something that was more of a subject matter than
So what
whether
would you
it's,
title toys?
what would I title toys? I'm not
So
talking
instead of-
about toys. I'm talking about, I think you need a different category than publicly visible. 'Cause
What
that
would
just
you, what
doesn't,
would the category be?
I think you should look at what's up there. You've got
Recreation tourism.
recreation tourism, I think would make a lot more sense. And then I would
Which
put the
may-
library fund under, something else. Is
what
that,
about, didn't you have quality of life?
did you have quality of life or mental health or something?
Yeah, that would go.
Yeah. I mean,
I have health and
Or is
safety.
that
Health and
infrastructure?
safety.
No, health
You
and
have
safety.
Greenwoods under health and safety. I would put the library up there.
Library wouldn't be under health and safety. There's
No.
Greenwoods in the library. I mean, that's,
Well,
They're
How about,
closer
how
to-
about health, safety and community strengthening?
I think you're trying to reach people through the library,
yeah,
these options that maybe normally you wouldn't be able to get, or they wouldn't have the opportunity. So
sure.
that's how I'd kind of put it towards people,
For health, safety and community, something like that. Then the library is part of that. Greenwood's part of that. Friends and neighbors is part of that.
Okay.
well, I don't
I
know,
don't-
I think it's listened the wrong direction.
Because you could put anything under publicly
You can
visible.
put
The
any-
sign's publicly visible.
Well, all right.
The fire engine's publicly.
What did you
visible.
put under for
Just a
kids' playground at the
category.
beach?
That would be community
Recreation, tourism.
or
So,
recreation tourism. Yeah. recreation.
Again, this was just to get things in a,
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
I
yeah.
mean,
right.
hopefully this ain't gonna be on TV tonight or not. And we're gonna go, we're just gonna look at so I mean, when you look at air quality, $335,000 of the $70,000. So a quarter of it is to improve air quality
I can't believe you did that.
in the town. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I think when you break it like this, you don't even have to actually look at each individual. I mean, you do have to look at the projects, don't get me wrong. Because also, you could also take the community hall access off and drop it down lower and we could just pay for that a different way if we want to continue. And then when you come to health and safety, now it's up to $76,000. Now you're like 12% of your money. And this is, is it more important? What's more important to get done here out of this group?
We
Do you
only
give
have
everybody a
half of that
portion of
funding.
it?
We have half of the funding right now.
right now.
Right.
Correct.
So is there anything on there that can be paid in two steps? If we have
For the
half
fire
the,
truck.
if we do 100,000 this year and next year.
You don't have to do any of it.
Well, you're not doing any of that this year.
You wouldn't even have to put the 200,000. for
Yeah,
the
you're
fire
not
truck. You just
paying
have-
for
you
it.
Can't spend it on something else. If you wanted to choose the fire truck.
Just
as
hold
part
it
of
in the account for.
Yeah, you'd have to hold it and you'd have to buy the fire truck before the end of the,
Yeah.
the thing.
2026.
I mean, like recreation and
Right.
tourism's a lot of money of the 668,
What do you have for recreation and tourism?
240,000. So,
What?
and that's missing the garden too. You only got your garden.
The historical society one is.
So then what do you know, that's, but is that a bad thing?
No, I'm not saying that, but you know,
What do we do? Go back, once we get this list from you?
Yep.
Go back and rate what we feel.
Or could we have some of it drilled down, like some of the people that were gonna come in and have it drilled down, maybe?
Yeah, we might be able to
We ready for
eliminate
that?
some stuff right there.
Yeah,
Or is it really like, like some of them are just flat numbers?
Yeah.
Some of them you have more information on. I mean, I think all the building stuff, you have the hard numbers. There's no ambiguity.
Probably the handicap or the bathrooms at the firehouse wasn't a hard number, but I hope to supplement whatever there.
No, but it doesn't encompass 20 different things. Like you don't have to specify, this isn't something we have to say the sink cost, this, the
Right, yeah.
bathroom. But then you have like, it just popped up, like the Morris Historical Society. That number is just a number. It doesn't have any
Right.
quantifiers to it.
so
Yeah.
they're supposed to
Yeah.
bring one.
So, and I know the library, even though we haven't drilled down, you guys have the
Oh, I have.
quantifiers you're looking for. And then, so some are like single items, but there are some that encompass
Right.
multiple things.
So I think,
Maybe you could get all your information from the people who need it from is the next step, and then you could rate them all as from
Yeah.
historical and the sewer and.
so I'll work on my list of people to contact and get information from and get it out to you before the next meeting. So you
Okay.
have it in your head already. And, either some of those people might be at the next meeting to help back it up, which would help instead of just coming from me.
Yeah.
And speaking of the next meeting, what do you think? What are you thinking?
Question that one.
December 15th or something, in the middle of December?
Is that a Thursday again?
You want to do Thursday, the 16th?
Yeah, Wednesday, bad for me.
That works for me. Try to get as much information on all the projects now and then. Yeah, and get it out to you.
When was that?
December 16th?
2 PM?
Sure.
So between now and then, should everyone in the committee, we'll have this Excel spreadsheet and I guess sort of on our own, kind of have a top list or something? Or are we gonna send out a poll? Or wait till we get more info?
Well, what, to who?
Like, MailChimp has like an online poll. To vote.
To the townspeople?
No,
Oh,
Committee.
yeah.
I don't know, can we do that outside of a meeting? I'm not sure.
No, that's why I was asking when you said that we were gonna send out a poll. I didn't know if you were talking about townwide or just.
You know what? Speaking of that, I think the COG has a polling system that we can borrow. And we can sit here at a meeting and just go through and,
Oh, that'd be great.
I like we did with the affordable housing stuff,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
the public hearings, people would vote on stuff.
we're voting on stuff right there.
Cool.
No one knew, what was what and
Yeah.
that maybe for next.
it would be great if, how many people are we supposed to have in this group?
How many are missing?
Oh, we're missing Ben Pletsky, Kristen Davila,
And Erica, right?
Erica.
And they try to make the next one?
Yeah.
Can we? So we don't do the kick the can down the road because we're missing half the group?
The man who has the list.
Yeah, it does, but we'll get you on there.
Okay.
Who are we missing? Pletsky, Maureen's here, Tracy, yeah. That was it.
is that for?
Ben, are you on the committee?
He's not.
He's not?
That's our professional reporter.
Solon's not.
I just want to make sure we have it right.
Okay.
Can he be or?
If I have the
Not on.
information for the Morris Public
Not on.
Library, should I send
Do you want
that
to be on?
every?
Yes.
Why are you
December?
I'm gonna go right back around.
You have it, but.
I
I
have,
sent an email.
I can attach it to, I can attach stuff.
Litchfield getting all this ARPA money.
I could add your little thing up.
On the next.
Because what I did is I spread it out so we could actually.
Such a day.
It came all
Please come
squished,
if you're
Oh,
but I was able to open it up, so I can send that so everyone can read. what-
Before we close.
Yeah.
You know what-
yeah.
It doesn't tell you a lot, I know.
Yeah, I mean, it was my form of doing what you did, which is why you need this, so.
Solid, SOLNIT.
Before we leave,
Can I make a motion to add Ben Solomon to the?
Board of Selectmen will have to do that. At our next meeting. I don't know. Just, you're representing anyways.
Who am I representing?
The lake.
Myself. I don't know. I mean,
A member, member large.
I'm a member at large because I'm not here as the Morris Land Trust because we don't have a dog in this fight.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a local guy.
I'd open up a can of worms, however, so I think you should pick up.
You want me to wear a hat?
Please.
I can give you a
Well,
highway.
I'm a member of the Affordable Housing Steering Committee.
Affordable Housing Steering Committee member.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this, then.
No, where are you going with this?
How many people do you want at the meetings? Because if we just say citizen at large, then there'll be about 50 other citizens that want to be at large.
People want to be here?
But they have to be appointed.
Forget about the showers.
That's true.
All right,
That's
Oh,
no
if
problem.
they have to put up all this merciless cross-examining from other committee members, I'm not sure anyone will want to join.
And I'm from the Board of Finance. I'm here to help.
Motion to adjourn,
Motion.
Tracy.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Or, Kyle. All those in favor?
In my world. You don't take pictures.
So this,
Look at that.
Just-
Yeah, do you want me to just give you some bags?
I got them soon. I kept them on Monday.
They're in the truck right here. No?
so you guys